Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. I am Felipe.
And I'm Daniely. We are both pros from Killerspin.
And today we're going to teach you how to do a forehand passive block. For a full course of the Killerspin Skill Academy, go to killerspin.com and you can find all the information there. Before we demonstrate the forehand block on the table, Daniely and I are going to show a video of Biba doing the forehand block. So we're going to make some comments so you can see how she performs in a 3D viewer. And after that, Daniely and I are going to do some drills on the table so you can see how we perform the forehand passive block.
Let's do it. Yeah. Biba, we can see that the passive block is a much more stable and safe shot compared to a counter loop or active block. Biba stays about 1.5 feet from the table to make sure she has enough distance to see where the ball is going and have enough time to react to each ball. Once she is about to contact the ball, she relaxes her body. Then, the stroke should be able to absorb the power and spin on the ball and redirect it to your opponent's side of the table.
As you guys can see, Biba stays like about 1.5 feet from the table. Her contact with the ball though is in front of her body. You don't want to contact the ball when the ball is passing your body because then you lose control. Notice that her head and pedal is kind of close to each other, so you have better control. And see how her wrists and her forearm is relaxed. It's very important to be relaxed so you have a better feeling of the ball when performing the shot. Because the ball is going to come with a lot of energy, a lot of topspin, and you have to be able to control it. So you have to have a very soft touch on that shot. Yes. Now, let's go on the table and try to do it.
Yes, let's go.
So the first thing I want you guys to pay attention, when doing a forehand block, I'm going to loop here, and then Daniely is going to perform the forehand passive block. So I'm going to loop, I'm going to go a little bit far from the table, and Daniely is going to be closer, and she's going to try to take the ball almost like at the height of the net. So if she takes the ball too far out, the block is going to be too high on the other side. So she's going to try to take the ball right here in front of her body, absorbing the energy of my shots. Let's try. Notice that it's very important when you're doing a passive block too, to have your feet very active too, because the ball can come a little bit to the middle, so you have to adjust. The ball can come to all the way to the corner, so you have to move a little bit to always have the same distance from the ball, right?
Yes, and also really something important is that you need to close the angle. If the angle is too open, that means that the ball is gonna go out because Felipe right now is adding a lot of spin. So if I don't close the angle, the ball is gonna go out. So yes. Remember that. Mm-hmm.
So notice what Daniely said is very important. Always you have to be adjusting the angle according to the amount of spin of the opponent. Some people, they do a lot of rotation when they're looping, so you really have to close the racket. Sometimes even you have to close and hit almost against your own side of the table, which is seems a little bit weird to perform the block. Some people, they don't add that much of spin, but they add more speed, and then you can open the racket a little bit, but you have to be very gentle because it has a lot of speed, so you don't hit the ball out. You have to kind of absorb the impact of the shot. So defending is about reading the spin and having a good contact of the ball. If you don't have the feeling, it's really hard to perform a good block on the table. And right now, Daniely is performing the passive block, which is she's not moving her racket much because that's the first step. The first step is to do a passive block, so really get the feeling of just putting the ball on the table. And after that, you're going to learn the more aggressive shot when you're performing the block. Notice that she always trying to contact the ball right in the middle of her racket. And the wrist has to be relaxed, but when you contact the ball, it's very important not to get completely loose. You kind of press the racket a little bit, right, then when you do it. Yes. So you can kind of have the feeling of touching the ball and covering the ball on the table. Try to keep the ball low, so then you make the opponent to work harder for the shot. Because if you block too high, no chance for you on the next ball. When you're practicing the forehand block, you start cross court when someone is just looping for you cross court. But then you can practice down the line too, because it's very important you should be able to, especially when you're blocking, to direct your shot and place the ball very well. Because often when you're defending, if you don't place the ball very well, the next shot is really hard for you to defend. So you can practice down the line, for example. I'm looping here, and Daniely down the line. This is short side of the table, so it's a little bit harder. So I recommend you to be a little more careful and maybe close even a little bit the angle of your racket so the ball doesn't go outside of the table. Right,
yes, and as you can see, I'm relaxed and I'm using his power. I'm not adding more power, so it's important in the beginning to control that ball.
Another way you can practice on multi-ball, where Daniely can block, let's say, one in the corner, one in the middle. So she practices her accuracy too. I'm going to loop here on multi-ball, and Daniely is going to do the block. Notice that the ones that goes too high is not the way she wants, but the one like goes really low is that what she's trying to do. See, the last like 3-4 shots was very excellent block because she was able to get the ball and pass very close to the net. So it's a really low block, which is what you're trying to do when you're doing a forehand passive block.
Yes. Well, thank you guys for joining us today, where we teach passive forehand block. If you want more information about Killerspin Skill Academy, go to killerspin.com to find more information.
Thank you so much, guys. What is the next class then?
Next classes is gonna be backhand passive block.
I'm excited for that. Let's see
Yes.
if you can block my shots with
Me
the
too,
backhand too.
always.
The forehand was good, right?
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye-bye.